Thank you for turning to page 121. Today we're going to take a look at one of the more controversial spells to come out of Unearthed Arcana, but one I really enjoy, and that is Stone Skin. Stone Skin caused a lot of headaches when it first came out. It was first previewed in Dragon Magazine, as most spells from Unearthed Arcana were, but we had some issues with this spell. So I'm going to go ahead and go through it. We're going to discuss it and let you know what I think. So, it's a 4th level spell. Range is touch. Duration is special. 1 creature. Verbal, somatic, and material components. 1 segment casting time, which is short for 4th level spell. And no save. And it's an alteration spell. When this spell is cast, the affected creature gains virtual immunity to any attack by cut, blow, projectile, or the like. Thus, even a sword of sharpness would not affect a creature protected by Stone Skin, nor would a rock hurled by a giant, a snake strike, etc. However, magic attacks such as from fireball, magic missile, lightning bolt, and so forth would have normal effect. Any attack or attack sequence from a single opponent dispels the Dweomer, however, although it makes the creature immune to the single attack or attack sequence. Attacks with relatively soft weapons, such as a monk's hands, an ogre-rillan's fists, etc., inflict 1 to 2 points of damage on the attacker for each such attack, while the attacked creature is protected by the Stone Skin, but does not dispel the Dweomer. The material components of the spell are granite and diamond dust sprinkled on the recipient's skin. So, some pretty neat stuff there. First off, it makes you proof against 1 attack or attack sequence. Now, the first thing we took offense to was the idea of an attack sequence. So, is an attack sequence a fighter getting 2 attacks in a round? Or is it a claw bite routine? Is that a sequence? So we changed that very quickly to make it just 1 single attack. But basically, you are immune to any cut, blow, projectile, or the like. So if somebody were to shoot an arrow at you, even an arrow of slaying, the arrow would bounce off with no effect. It says here, a rock hurled by a giant. We do actually put in a little holdover from Champions, and we put in knockback. Basically, if a giant hits you with the rock, you'll be proof against the rock's impact, but it'll still knock you on your butt. No additional damage for that, but it's just a cinematic kind of thing. Magic spells such as Fireball, Magic Missile, and Lightning Bolt still damage you. Well, that I agree with completely. Although I had one player argue that Magic Missile shouldn't because Magic Missile is impact, and then I pointed out that Magic Missile is just kind of concentrated magic, so we agreed that it would not have that effect. And then it has soft weapons such as a monk's fist. Monk's hands or ogre-rillan's fist will inflict 1 to 2 points of damage on the attacker for each such attack while you're protected by a Stone Skin. We don't count a monk's fists as something soft. Monks train for a very, very long time to make their hands very hard indeed. So we allow a monk's strike to take off a Stone Skin. So Stone Skin, what do you do with this? How do you use it? Well, first off, you cast it on yourself before you go into the dungeon. That way you have it on your person. You get the spell at 7th level, so it's about the time you should be getting pretty good defense. And 1 segment casting time makes it beautiful for after you've lost in the dungeon, you can renew it. The sprinkled components of the spell are granite and diamond dust sprinkled on the recipient's skin. Well, it doesn't say how much diamond dust. I had a player argue that this spell was too expensive, and I said, well, how much diamond dust are you using? He said, well, I don't know. I said, well, if you're using a pinch, granted it's not cheap, but with the rarefied heights of money that player characters that find themselves with over time, it's not all that expensive either. I actually love this spell, and first chance I have when I'm playing an MU, I take a Stone Skin as soon as I get to the appropriate level and then can find one. Believe me, I take a Stone Skin. I think this is an excellent spell to keep an MU alive. Granted, at 7th level, you're a little bit better than you were, but still, you're fairly fragile compared to a 7th level fighter or even a 7th level cleric. So let's go ahead and beef up your defenses a little bit. Let's give you the Stone Skin. Between this and armor, you're in a really good place. Now, one thing we did put into this is we allow Stone Skin to help against falling damage. If you were to fall off a ledge and it was 30 feet and you fell and you had a Stone Skin on, we will allow the Stone Skin to absorb all the damage. So you could jump with impunity. Now, I had to put in some limitations on that because I had players pretty much trying to abuse that, jumping, 200 feet onto a flat surface and haha, I have a stone skin, I'm fine. So I made it roughly 50 feet, give or take, is what a stone skin will absorb. And after that, you will take damage. Usually it'll be half damage. So if you were to fall from 100-foot height with a stone skin on at my table, I would roll the dice as normal, but you would go only half the damage. Stone skin would absorb half of it, and you would take the rest. I had one player get kind of saucy with me many years ago, and he decided he had a stone skin on. He knew my rule about falling, so he was on a sloped cliff. There's about a 30-foot drop to a slope, and he thought, ha, the bad guys are coming. I'll just jump off the cliff. And I said, well, okay, that's fine. And when he hit, 30 feet down on the slope, he was fine. But then he tumbled down the rocky slope, and he took a ton of damage. That kind of calmed everybody down a little bit about using stone skin as a way to escape damage. Again, it just makes sense to me for this to affect falling damage, but I don't want it to be immunity to falling damage. I still want a fall to be a problem. So that's why we made that spell, or made that use of the spell. We don't inflict any kind of movement. There's no indication visually that you have a stone skin on. Personally, if I was a magic user able to cast this spell, I'd have it on 24/7. Who of us hasn't stubbed a toe in the middle of the night wishing that they had a stone skin on? Now, it's a stupid thing to lose a stone skin to, but it's better than breaking your toe, which I've done by stubbing my toe in the dark. So it's just a matter of what you want to use it for. Anyway, like I say, we only use it for one single attack, and that is if it's a claw bite routine and the first claw misses, but the second claw hits, that's the stone skin. And at our table, you say ting, regardless of what you've been hit with, to indicate that the stone skin was there to interrupt the blow. And then the third attack, the bite, if that hits, then that lands as normal. I have given some damage in the past, particularly to a vampire. It was a blood-drinking vampire out of one of the Ravenloft supplements. And that blood-drinking vampire went to surprise attack and bite a magic user with a stone skin on. I had the vampire take all kinds of dental impact for that, and it was worth a great deal of laughter at the table. So that's really all I've got to say about Stone Skin. Let me know your thoughts on this spell. I think it's an outstanding spell, and I think it's one that any magic user needs to have in their spellbook. But let me know what you think. Maybe I'm totally wrong, and this spell is terrible. I don't know. That's all I've got today from page 121. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.